Hey guys, it's Study and welcome back to Comic Space. And as it looks like Elizabeth Olsen is getting up for her return as Scarlet Witch. And matter of fact, we did just recently talked about it, how Marvel Studios was looking forward to making that character return and how they were going to send Wanda on in much more of a redemption arc and everything that comes with Secret Wars, the Mutant Saga, Vision Quest series. But today we have another major update as it looks like Marvel Studios is looking forward to utilizing Scarlet Witch in a much more major way, in a much more massive scale, leading into the Mutant Saga, and it further extends more than just her solo film. So we are all talking about Scarlet Witch today, and with obviously the ongoing Agatha All Along series, which we are getting a lot of hint of Scarlet Witch here and there, a lot of metaphors to exactly what happened at the end of the Multiverse of Madness. So again, we have a lot to talk about. So our today's update is coming from My Time to Shine. Hello, it is one of the another source that we cover frequently on the channel and like to give a lot more reverence as well. As I went on to state, Marvel Studios have some major plans for Scarlet Witch, which includes a solo film, a major role in both of the Avengers film, as well as another two WandaVision spin-off series and leading into the Mutant Saga as well. So again, here's the thing, we just recently did talk about Scarlet Witch return and everything and how it would make sense if she pop up in Agatha All Along or Vision Quest series, or how it will make much more impact if she actually returns in both of the Avengers films. And when we are talking about Scarlet Witch, we are talking about our main 616 Wanda returning to our main 616 continuity, because again, moving forward with Avengers Doomsday and Secret Wars, the things are going to get a lot more crazy with all of the multiversal aspect involved and a lot of variants that we are going to see. So we probably can be seeing Elizabeth Olsen returning as Scarlet Witch, but I'm still quite suspecting that is it actually going to be our main 616 Wanda from the end of the Multiverse of Madness, and that's how we are actually going to see her come back in Avengers Doomsday or Secret Wars, or they're going to bring back that character in a very different way. We did talk about the Vision Quest series, which is, by the way, is becoming a major crossover event, drawing from the elements of the West Coast Avengers, a major team-up series, and a lot of characters returning, and even James Spader is supposed to be returning as Ultron for more than just in voiceover. And he been returning in a major way, it probably led us to think that he's probably going to be the villain in that show. So again, that is also in perfect place for her to be returning. But again, Marvel Studios might like to focus a lot more on Vision, because that's his series and that's what the name also says, which is the Vision Quest series. So again, which is what we have been calling it. We don't have an official name for it, but anyhow, when we are talking about Scarlet Witch return and how Marvel Studios is leaning forward to and to making that character much more bigger, because again, it really should be, and given all of the history with the comics, you really need to build up Scarlet Witch for sure, because again, we just recently got introduced to the Scarlet Witch, because we have been following the story of Wanda for the longest time, but with the time she actually became the Scarlet Witch, it was in the time of the Multiverse of Madness, and we know how that movie kind of ended. And again, it also has been one of those things that from the release of Multiverse of Madness, we all have been speculating about it, and it is also kind of obvious that yeah, she's going to be returning at some point of time. Elizabeth Olsen is going to be returning to that character for sure as Scarlet Witch, and moving forward with the Mutant Saga, which again, the solo Scarlet Witch film that we thought that we probably could have gotten at the very back end of the Multiverse Saga, and we probably would have if the original plans for the Multiverse Saga would have stayed. So again, a lot of major changes have happened along the way since the fact that Kevin Feige announced that slate. So again, back in 2019 San Diego Comic-Con, and again, if we are talking about the solo film, it does makes a lot of sense of it actually coming leading into the Mutant Saga, which again Marvel Studios is going to head into in full gear right after Secret Wars, which again the X-Men reboot that they're actively working on, it is also looking to be coming out at the very corner of the Secret Wars. Again, it might even come out as the same years as Secret Wars, which again, it also needs to be taking place in a completely different universe. And there's a whole thing about it that we keep talking about, the X-Men reboot of Marvel Studios and how they're actually going to adapt that storyline. And we recently also did talk about Spider-Man, Tom Holland's Spider-Man, and how they're also trying to make that character an integral part and one of the core members of the Avengers moving forward, because all of these characters that we have been following from the Infinity Saga, Marvel is for sure leading towards them Obviously, we are going to have tons of new characters being introduced and explored. We did talk about that Tom Holland have went on to sign a major deal, which also includes a quite a major extension of role of what we have seen with Avengers Endgame and Infinity War for Spider-Man specifically, and obviously the new trilogy that they're going to be developing towards it. So again, I think everything going on, and especially with characters like Sam Wilson's Captain America and Wanda returning as Scarlet Witch, these are very important members from the days of the Infinity Saga, and these are the characters that Marvel Studios is not going to let go yet. And given the fact we are going to head into the Mutant Saga, and you obviously going to want to have Wanda Maximoff in that story, you want to have Scarlet Witch and want to explore that story moving forward, because why not? And especially if you have already set in the stage and leading that redemption arc and leading into the X-Men and everything that comes with it. So again, I think it just makes some complete sense, and the 2-3 characters that I just named, and they're going to move forward with these characters for a very long time, because now it is the time where with the multiverse saga and with all of the branches that Marvel Studios have with television, animation and everything, they can do a lot more with these characters and explore a lot of adjacent storylines. Then our main storyline, which is the multiverse saga, which is the Avengers, but also have all of these characters and storylines running in adjacently, with obviously building up the supernatural side. So you're obviously going to need Scarlet Witch there. Building up the street level side, you're going to need Spider-Man there. So again, I think with all of those things going on, and this is just a great update, and not really kind of shocked about it, because again, given the fact that how big that character is and how they have went on to make that character so much big, and with seeing the true extension of that character in the Multiverse of Madness, even though it was for the quite short period of time. But again, it just makes completely sense of them making Scarlet Witch return, and also making her return in a much more massive and in much more major way. So I think it is time for me to see you guys off on this one. I'm so glad that you guys got the time to hear me out. Thanks for listening to me. This is your host Adi signing off. See you in the next one.